There we go. It's just Margie. Margie. Richard's probably sleeping.
Yeah.
He's the night shift or the morning shift person at Channel 7, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know if Dave was going to be on today or what.
I don't know. Next week, Margie. Well, oof, really? Okay. I didn't want to do a podcast next week.
Oh.
It's July 6th. Technically, still July 4th weekend. I was thinking about taking it off. But I can still come up here and record, though.
Well, actually, that's good. We can just have him in.
Okay. Right. Okay, good. All right. Oh, where's Will at? Oh. His video's not there. Hi, YouTube. How's it going? I got to get my sister to teach me how to do this for the OBS thing so that I can have like a cool sponsor or something in the background. That'd be really cool.
Maybe he turned his video off.
Will, are you there? Will. Oh, that's weird. Well, we'll figure it out. It's still technically early, isn't it? We're like 3 minutes early. I'm gonna text him. I got my phone right here. This is professional, by the way. Maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
That's what I think.
Did he say he was gonna do it? While I was talking.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Your audio's back.
Yeah, my mom called me.
Can't not answer your mom.
Yeah. So he answered.
Well, that's good. Anything important?
Yeah. No, not really.
Oh.
She was in town and wanted to know if I wanted to get dinner. It's like, well, my wife isn't in town
Man, I miss my mom being alive because we'd get those phone calls every once in a while. Hey, you want some free dinner? Let's go to Perkins. And I'd be like, hell yeah, I want to go to Perkins. Get some free
I'd probably
dinner.
have to pay. Or I'd probably end up paying anyway.
Really? Not me.
Oh, yeah.
Made my mom pay every time. She was all for it. That was her thing. That's what she wanted to do. Yeah.
This is my mom being alive because I got free meals.
Well, that's part of it. I mean, and Christmas presents. I mean, let's get real here. I don't get Christmas presents anymore.
Yeah.
I get them. I have to get them for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And talks. Remember that part? You know what I just saw? Okay, so on Disney Plus, they just finally got Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War. So now you can watch Infinity War and you can watch Endgame back to back. And that's one of the things that I did last night. I didn't go to sleep until like 6 o'clock this morning. So I watched. So when I went home, so I was off at 6, had to count the drawer, take the thing over. So I got home at like 7. I didn't feel like riding my bike or anything like that. Plus, it was really weird out. It's like really hazy and weird from that Sahara dust or whatever storm. Yeah. And then, I went downstairs and I stripped down my 2.0, good Lord, my 22 5.0 Elite so I could get it ready for eBay, which, by the way, HobbyPlex show viewers, if you are in the market for a Team Losi 22 5.0 Elite, this guy's got one on eBay right now. You can check it out. Just look up. Yeah. Or instant message me or whatever on Facebook. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. Anyways, okay. So I watched Infinity War, and then I was like, well, it's only midnight. I could probably watch Endgame. So I watched Endgame, and you know that part in Endgame where Thor goes back in time with Rocket, and then meets it and has a talk with his mom. Like his mom actually died that day. That's what I would have done. I'd have been like, I totally would do that. We'd have these long talks because my mom was a psychology major in college. That's what she graduated with, psychology and gerontology. So we had these. She was like a shrink, like a free shrink, and yeah, that's what I would totally do.
You're such a head case.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, so I started watching some of the Star Wars stuff on Disney Plus,
Sweet.
and I just couldn't get into it because Jar Jar Binks isn't in it. Because he's like the greatest character in all of Star Wars. Like, why would you even watch it if Jar Jar Binks wasn't in it?
It would have been one heck of a turnaround if they would have gone in with the whole Dark Jar Jar storyline, that the theory that was out there for a little while, like where Jar Jar Binks was actually the Sith Lord that was in charge of stuff.
I really only say I don't really care about Star Wars.
I know you don't.
But
I know you don't.
I only say stuff like that to people that are Star Wars fans because I'm just like trying to get a rise out of them. I'm either trying to make them laugh really hard or get really angry.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
It's so funny.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I know a lot of Star Wars canon lore and stuff like that. Jar Jar Binks doesn't bother me. He doesn't bother me at all. I'll go back. Actually, Phantom Menace is actually in my personal top 5 Star Wars movies, which is not where people usually put the Phantom Menace. But I like the Phantom Menace a lot.
Pod racing.
I don't mind Jar Jar at all on that one. Yeah, he actually is better in Clone Wars. He gets better, so he's not terrible. He's not. It's just what I found funny about the Phantom Menace or the newer movies. Not the latest prequels because they're all inclusive and everything and all that, but it was shocking to me when it was jarring. It was something that I noticed, and I'm not sure if other people did. We're getting really deep into Star Wars all of a sudden, but anyways,
go ahead.
I found it remarkable how in that movie, The Phantom Menace, there were many stereotypes of regular human beings that were carried over in that movie in character.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, and I mean, I remember reading some outrage about it, back then, but that was now what 21 years ago, 1999. Didn't it come out?
Yeah, I was like in elementary school.
Could you imagine that? Like.
Well, okay, so have you've seen the Transformer movies, right?
Dude, don't get me started with Transformer movies.
That movie had a lot of stereotypes.
It did. Well, Michael Bay's a douche knuckle, so
yeah, it was annoying.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh my gosh, that's loud.
Douche knuckle.
He is. Did you read about the Megan Fox thing and how badly he treated her?
Like, no, tell me about it.
I hated Michael Bay as it was because his style of movies is horrible, and he's the only good movie that I think Michael Bay has ever made is The Rock, with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. Somehow Nicolas Cage in that movie was awesome, and other movies other than what's the one where he and the girl from Karate Kid end up somehow getting together in Las Vegas. Is it Leaving Las Vegas? It's not Leaving Las Vegas, is it? Dude, I
Fear and Loathing?
Fear and Loathing? That's
definitely not a Michael Bay movie.
No, it's not. But that Nicolas Cage. Anyways, I'm going on Nick Cage now. Anyways, I'm ready to talk about some stuff because
the one thing I remember about The Rock.
Yeah.
Well, actually, two things is that The Rock isn't in it, and and that Nicolas Cage's character collected Beatles records.
That he did. Yeah, you're right.
That's like the only two things I remember about that movie.
Yeah. Totally.
And seeing James Bond trying to break out of prison.
Right.
Because Sean Connery is James Bond.
I miss Sean Connery.
Is he dead?
No, he's not. But if he would have just not done the movie League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, he might still have a career.
Yeah.
Just take that movie and just erase it from history, and then maybe Sean Connery could still be working today. He's old though. He's up there. Man, we went off on some tangents there to start things off, didn't we?
Yeah. What the heck?
I'm going to start us off real quick. This is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown HobbyPlex here for the another version of the Hobbytown HobbyPlex show. I think we're working on episode 22 now, which is fantastic. And with me, as always,
this is Will Brinton with Will Brinton and I am here on the HobbyPlex show and YouTube channel, podcast.
And I've got some things to talk about today. That so Tim, our general manager, was on vacation this week, and not that matters a whole lot. I think we can run the store without him, but there's just some stuff I want to talk about, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to some of it. I'm gonna have to tiptoe around because we have some rules on this show that we got to follow.
Okay, what are those rules?
No,
did you guys get a rule list?
No, we didn't get a rule list, but it's generally speaking, no swearing. Keep everything positive. That's basically the gist of it. 2 rules. Otherwise, we have pretty much free reign on whatever we want to do. Which we had a good weekend this week. I should probably talk about that real fast. So Saturday we had almost 60 entries again. I know you weren't there because did you have a wedding?
I had a wedding I had to go to.
Nice. I'm actually really happy that most of my friends are married.
Well, it's not even like people I know. It's people my wife knows.
Oh.
So it's like, I just got a free meal out of it.
That's true.
Some cake, a couple of beers.
One of the coolest things about your wedding was the Hertz donuts.
Yeah, that's what we had for
cake.
Cake was donuts because we had a brunch wedding.
Man, that was awesome.
I'm sure if there is any women listening to the show, they're going, "Oh my god, that's such a good idea." It was like all my wife's idea. Because like anybody that we tell, like, oh yeah, we had a brunch wedding, we got it over with in the morning, and then like hung out all day.
Yeah.
And anybody I tell that to, that's what their wife always says is, oh my god, that's such a good idea. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's good. But we still had, what did we have? We had multiple heats of Mod Buggy, 13.5 wheeler, and Expert stock this week. Mm-hmm. And so we had lower mains and all that. I'm starting to put the 13.5 four-wheel drive B main up last night in the middle of Endgame. And then when I was watching that. And then I'll try to get the other ones up tonight at some point. I'm going to start on my new car, which we can talk about here in a minute too. But for me, it's really satisfying. We basically had 2 straight months of solid club racing. Mm-hmm. Right? And that hasn't happened in the summertime for a really long time.
Especially on a Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday nights last year, Friday nights were strong. Friday nights are still strong. I think we had 43 entries again on Friday. Mm-hmm. And most of them were Plex specs. So, I mean, if you combine the weekend, again, it was about a 100 entry weekend, which is perfect. And that's why we split it up into 2 days.
Yeah.
So, man, it makes my heart happy. Here's the weird thing. So we're gonna race Friday, but we're not gonna race next Saturday because it's July 4th. Mm-hmm. Then there's a summer series race July 11th. So of course we're gonna have a big turnout for that. I'm not worried about it. The following weekend, we're having the Tamiya makeup race for regionals. So for off-road, we're off, on, and then off again.
Geez, I always pick the worst times to take a weekend off.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I take one off and I lose 3.
You can come Friday.
Or whatever.
I think Vanderbeek said he's coming Friday.
I could. Well, no, I'm not. I can't come on Friday. We're going camping.
Oh.
Putting that new camper to use.
All right. Well,
I think that's a fair excuse.
So you just got a new camper. Why don't you tell people about that? Because that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we got a new camper. It's a 22-foot camper. I just bought a Silverado, too, to pull it with. And, it's really nice. Has a big slide out, just like a big room.
Did somebody buy your four-wheel drive yet?
No, not yet. Four-wheel drive's on Facebook. There's a guy that's really interested, and he said he has to sell he has some invoices he has to do before he can buy it. I was like, okay, well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Let me know when you have the money, and I'll ship it. It's not a big deal.
I was like, hey, what a coincidence! Will just sold his Ruckus, and he sold his four-wheel drive, and then he buys a camper.
Yeah, the thing is I really just enjoy racing one class.
Right.
Like, you get to try stuff, and as in depth as I get with setups and things like that. And I'm not saying I'll not have another 4-wheel drive at some point. I just enjoy racing one class. It's just easier. Like I'd rather be really good at one thing.
Yeah.
You know.
So, speaking of that, I raced 13.5 4-wheel drive again with the new Losi car, and man, that new Losi car is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is. I barely touched it. I did have a little problem with it though, and I asked some other guys at the track, like Aiden, I think Joe Snows, and they hadn't ran into it before, so I must have done something wrong, I'm sure. But because that's what I used to get told.
Mm-hmm.
But the front sway bar like crumpled, so it bent, and then it was rubbing on the dog bone.
Oh,
so
okay.
I straightened it out and I put it back on, and it did the same thing except on the other side. But it was already when I put it back on, I actually flipped it anyways. And so after the second time, I'm like, well, okay, fine. I just took the whole thing off, and I put a really hard front spring on it, and my car was really good.
Really?
Yeah, really, really good. So,
well, and like back to my four wheel though. Like honestly, I don't have to sell it. Like I could just let it sit, but I'd rather just like let somebody enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, so there's another car racing.
Yeah.
But with the $700 seed money, I'm probably going to buy a Honda Monkey. And if you don't know what a Honda Monkey is,
that's what you said.
You need to Google it or something, because
they had
those things are
4 of them at
bone.
Dillon Brothers. When Emerson and I went and looked at bikes, they had 4 of them up there.
Did they have a blue one?
Oh man,
Or
I
they
don't
all
remember
red?
the colors. All I remember
want
is
a
going.
yellow one.
All I remember is going Emerson. No, not yet.
Yeah. I want a yellow one really bad, but they only made those in 2019. So if I could find a yellow one, I'd be really happy. But if I had to pick between red and blue, I would want blue. But those are kind of hard to find
Yeah.
too. So
I don't know what colors they have.
Trying to
Maybe I'll
find
go
a
back and
blue
look
one.
for you. I'll go back and look for you, see what they have.
okay, yeah.
I'm still torn. I'm still kind of thinking about the scooter they had.
Oh, the Super Cub.
Because I could
think is what
probably,
it is.
I could probably swing $60 a month extra.
Yeah.
On top of what I already pay for my truck. So
Dude, a monkey is the same price.
I know.
Let's get a monkey.
Okay, I'll think about it.
You know what I mean?
I've never owned a motorcycle or anything like that ever, though, so I would have to learn how to ride it.
It's a mini bike.
I know.
You know, with that injected 125, there's like no maintenance.
Well, that's good.
Like you
'cause
don't
I'm
have
not.
to do
You
anything.
never.
You just run it.
I'm clearly not an engineer, so I am not good at maintenance, as everybody probably knows by now. It's not one of my things.
Oh yeah.
So, just looking real quick because what did we talk about already? Oh, I talked about our turnout this weekend. So, our turnout was great, and it just makes my heart happy to see club racing kind of make a comeback because, you know, the Plex did pretty good for the 3 months that we were down with no racing, but club racing is still just really important. It's important to have people come out and get together and talk to one another and watch each other drive and learn how to drive with different people that drive differently than you do and all that stuff. And then you can move on and go to that big race, you know, every once in a while. So, James Nelson is on our live stream and he's like, I'm definitely getting a monkey.
He hasn't bought one yet.
You and him
I thought
should
he bought one.
You and him should hook up anyways, just because you're beards. You both have almost the same beard length.
Yeah, about.
You could be make up some scooter name with beards like.
Yeah, I mean, so me and my buddies that ride here in Lincoln, but for everybody that is friends with me on Facebook has seen my post. The 16th Street Scooty Boys, because we all live on 16th Street, or at least me and my neighbor do. The other guys don't, but it's still funny to call it that, the 16th Street Scooty Boys. So, anyway, I just ride the Zuma, and my neighbor has a Honda Spree, which is, if you've never seen one,
Spree.
Yeah, like it's
vaguely
pretty slow.
It's vaguely familiar.
It's so tiny.
I might have seen one.
It top speed is like 27 miles an hour or something like that. But it's pretty cool.
That's like my speed. That's what I should ride.
Yeah.
Real quick, because there's two things that I think I want to bring up, and the first one is that I think I found a race I want to go to, and I think I have my wife on board, which is crazy because that never happens when it comes to a race. When we come to vacation, that's different. But Beach RC has that Masters of Dirt race that they had last year. And it's October 22nd through the 25th. I think those are the right dates. Something like whatever that weekend is in October. Mm-hmm. So that happens to be, again, Emerson's birthday weekend. And last year I tried to go to the Monster Energy Cup because it was on the same weekend. And then we didn't have enough money to go. So it was just like one of those things where we're like, well, maybe next year. But I looked at airplane tickets, and it's fairly cheap to go. We thought about driving. So we're not exactly decided yet on how we're going to get there, but it's Myrtle Beach. Beach RC's, it looks like it's like a mile away from the actual ocean. So I think it'd be awesome to go to that one.
Yeah, Andy, I don't remember the last time he went, but him and his wife Kelsey always went to Myrtle Beach for vacation, and they love it down there.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
And they always drive. So
yeah,
I mean, it's not undoable. You know?
I've never been to South Carolina. I came close. So Gretchen and I went to the 2001 Florida Winter Champs with Chris Catlett, and we drove, and we took Chris's mom's Oldsmobile 4-door something car, and poor Gretchen, we had a Easy Up that didn't quite fit, so we had to put the seats down and slide it through the back trunk. So my wife, not my wife at the time, but we were still dating then, fairly early in our relationship too. She volunteered to sit in the back the whole time.
Oh wow!
On seats that weren't a seat, the seats were down. So she actually stayed back there with all of our stuff piled in there too, and we drove through. Where did we go? I think we started. Of course, we went to St. Louis, then we went to like Tennessee, and then through Georgia, and then down to Florida, down to Lake Park, and I got to tell a story. I was thinking about it on the way here because it's so funny. So we get to Atlanta. Atlanta's wall-to-wall traffic, right? And then there's like this detour. So this detour takes us off of the interstate and through a side road. So it's like if you're going to Lincoln and you've got Interstate 80 and then you have Highway 6, which is right beside it, almost parallels it for a while. That's what it was like, right? Okay, so we take this road. It's a detour, so everybody's on it. We decide to stop at a Dairy Queen. We saw a Dairy Queen. We go in, and you got to remember this is Georgia. Like this was deep Georgia. There's the people serving us. We could barely understand a word they said. And that's not to say that the way they talk is bad or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I just couldn't pick up on it. So they hand me this. They're getting ready to hand me this Blizzard, and the lady's like, "Do you want to try with that?" And I'm like, looking around, I'm like, "What? You want straw with that, or saw with that?" And I'm like, I looked at her like, I think about it this now, and I think to myself that they must have thought that I was a huge butthole. Like, they're probably telling this story to their friends now, being like, remember when that one Yankee dude came down and made fun of the way that we talked or whatever? And I wasn't making fun of it. I just didn't understand it. So I was like, I squinted a little bit, and I was like, do I want salt with that? And I got the deepest, gnarliest look from this lady. White lady, by the way, so don't nobody go there. But she gave me this look, and she slowed down. She goes, "Do you want a straw with that?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm so
And you're like, hell yeah, can I have two?
Can I? Yeah, I would love a straw. Thank you very much.
Can I have a crazy straw, please?
And then I ran out the door with my tail between my legs because I felt bad.
Oh.
I felt like a moron.
Why?
I don't know, because I don't know. It's just, and the other thing that was weird when I went down there was they called everything Coke, and that's a
so
southern
annoying.
Yeah, it's a southern thing.
Yeah, and for the Coke.
Yes.
Or it's more like, man, walk out.
Coke. So I'm ready to go back, man. I'm ready to go back. I'm excited. You know what classes they ran last year? They ran the basically the INS classes. So they had 40 plus 2-wheel drive mod, which is all for me because I'm old now. And then they had open mod. Remember, they had pro mod and open mod. So I could run 40 plus and open mod with my mod buggy, and then 13 5-wheeler. I think I'm on board with that class.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the next J Concepts race I'm going to, I'm definitely running open mod.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was an option when we were in St. Louis. I was so mad.
Yep. Yeah, totally. That's
I could just double class 1 car.
Yeah, that's what Emerson and I are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look into it more, but look out, people. We're going to make a road trip down there this year. So that'll be great. They had like 280 entries last year. It was a good race.
Oh, yeah. No, that looks like a good one.
And the track always looks really good.
Yeah.
It's real square, you know, but the surface looks really good. I think they run slicks. I think silver slicks.
Sure. Just like everything. Yeah.
Okay, so I got another one for you. This is something I was thinking about this week. And okay. I think you lay into me if you think I'm going in a really strange direction. We'll get to race results at some point. But I think that just like how in is it Finland and Sweden and Israel, where they have like is it conscriptory? What's the word when you force people to do something? Anyways, when they're young men and women turn 18, they have to join the military. It's required, right?
Yeah, for like 2 years or whatever.
Right. Okay. I think in the United States of America, I think that every single person, regardless of race, creed, color, economic background, anything, I think every single person, when they turn 18, should be forced to work retail for 3 months minimum.
Sure.
I think a lot of this world's problems would be solved if that got put into effect.
I could see that.
Conscriptory, I think that's the right word. Retail service. Think about how many doors that could open up. People would, maybe they like doing it, right? That would never think about doing it. You get that stereotypical butthole, prissy white girl that wants to smack somebody at Starbucks in the face for not putting enough squirts in their coffee or whatever. Make them work at Starbucks for 3 months. And then hopefully it creates a little bit more empathy with how people treat people in the real world.
Yeah. I mean, good luck finding a job.
What do you mean?
That'd take a lot of... No, I mean, do you think there's enough jobs for everybody to work at retail place? You think?
Yes. For 3 months?
All right. I don't know.
Instead of retail establishments going out and trying to find people to work, they just go, okay, we got this person for 3 months, we got this person for 3 months. But anyways, but the idea is that I feel like if people worked, and it's a real job, if everybody had to work a real job and not just these backdoor unpaid internships or no job at all, where they just get loads of money for nothing, or they don't know how to work. This could also be an improvement on society, period, where somebody didn't know how to work. But it's mainly, for me, it's mainly how people treat people.
Yeah. You could do it like how you're supposed to do so much community service to graduate from high school.
Mm-hmm. Kind of the same deal. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, instead of community service, you have to do service industry.
Yeah.
Same thing. Kinda. Not really.
Most of my political leanings originate from the 5 or 6 years that I worked in a grocery store. Most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw a lot of abuse of programs. And I worked all over that place. I worked, the meat counter. I worked up front. I checked out, I was a stock boy, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So most of my personal political, leanings, which I'm not one of those guys that goes on Facebook and, reposts memes from any, viewpoint or anything like that. I'm not one of those people. In fact, I deleted some more people this week because of that. Unfriended altogether.
Yeah. I've been doing some deleting.
Yeah.
As well.
But most of that came from that. And so I think that's why I have certain viewpoints on things. And I don't know. This week, it just got weird. Like, this poor guy had a problem with his servo. And I was bummed out initially because he had a problem with the servo, and instead of bringing it into us to possibly try to get it warrantied, I'm not going to say the manufacturer or anything like that, but he just came in and bought another one and didn't tell anybody about it. If he would have told us about it initially, we might have been able to steer him either a different direction or at least try to get the problem figured out. So he bought another one that did the exact same thing. Now, I'm at a loss as to why both servos did what they did. I've been told that why, but I've also had firsthand experience that doesn't always fit.
What happened to the servo?
Well, it got really hot and basically burned a hole in the top of it, in the plastic case.
Is this in a ground vehicle?
It's in a surface vehicle. And if you look on a lot of Futaba servos, okay, there it is, Futaba. But anyways, a lot of Futaba servos have on their packaging, it says analog only, which it does.
Oh.
I get that. Okay.
Right.
But I've used this specific servo in many, 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 many different systems, including digital. And I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
So I don't know if something changed or I never really got a good look at the vehicle to see if maybe something was bound up or maybe the endpoints weren't set or, anything like that. It was just a regular Traxxas radio. So I can't imagine that having some sort of speed where it causes an actual like flame to come in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? Or to cause it to actually burn out like it did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So like it smokes and burns a hole?
Yeah.
Or does it melt
I saw it. It literally
the motor
had
gets so hot.
It literally had a melted hole. It was more like the motor got really hot.
Yeah. I mean that probably a analog servo trying to hunt for center all the time, being given digital inputs, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I've used that servo myself with Spectrum radios. They were all in digital. So I don't know.
Wasn't there a setting for that though in the Spectrum radio?
Again, I'm not an engineer, so
yeah,
if there is, I never knew that it was there.
Oh,
so I don't know. I used that servo I remember in one of our enduro cars because I had it lying around and I knew we didn't need a high performance, $150 servo. I just needed a metal geared servo.
Yeah.
So anyways,
interesting.
Yeah. But it turned into an online thing. It turned into a Facebook thing, and it really frustrated me because then all the trolls come out of the woodwork and start putting down our store. And, with as many people as we have come into our store now, it's just a law of averages. We'll probably find a way to give somebody the wrong part or have somebody unsatisfied. But if you look at our reviews, it certainly doesn't happen very often.
Right. I mean, stuff's going to happen, right?
Right.
You go to O'Reilly's and get a part, you got to go back. It's like you always plan on 2 trips to the parts store, like one to go get a part and the second one to go get the right one.
Right.
The
thing about our store, though, and our guys are trained because most of our parts are behind the counter. Like, our guys are trained to bring out a book and have people point at what they want. Like, if they don't have the part number themselves, we bring out the book and we go, hey, show us what you need, right?
Right.
Or, like ARMA stuff, for instance, I just go straight to anytime, and even if I might know what it might be, I still double check everything because I don't want to make a mistake. But here's where things get tough. Let's say somebody comes in and they come up and say, I just need an arm for a slash. And we go, oh, okay, cool. And we go grab an arm for a slash, and we give it to them. They look at it. They go, okay, thanks. And they go ring it out, and then they go home. Then they come back, right, like an hour later, and say, you guys gave me the wrong part. And I'm like, well, you were just here. You said arm for a slash. Yeah, I had a 4x4 slash. And I'm like, crap, right? So I've tried to get our guys to say 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
You know, for any of these vehicles. I had somebody call me on the phone yesterday, and he goes, hey, I'm looking for a frame. We called it a frame first off, but a frame for a 10 scale Outcast. And my instinct is, okay, I need to know which Outcast it is. And I said, okay, is that the 6S1 or the 4S1? And he goes, what do you mean? The 6S1 is 8 scale. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know which one you need. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the 4S1 is big. It's still a big truck. Some people could call it a 10 scale. Some people could still call it an 8 scale, you know? So I don't know. There's instances in which we can make a mistake, and definitely it's our fault. But a lot of times I think it's both people's faults.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
We've had people come in straight up and say, with a part number, and say, I need this. And then we got it, and we were like, freaking cool, here you go, man. And then they come back, and they're like, with their fingers, have said, you guys gave me the wrong part. And I'm like, dude, you asked for this part specifically by part number.
Right.
How is that our fault? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then in some instances, you know, again, like I said, a slash. Like now we have to, when somebody calls up, because we carry the 1/16 scale slashes, now we have to say, hey, 10 scale or 16 scale. You know, like which slash are we talking about? Because now there's 3 of them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I just never understood why people get so upset about that stuff. Like, where's that going to get you? You know?
It's the arguing that with the thing. Like, I never got it so much here. So I've been working at HobbyPlex now for 16 years, since 2004, December of 2004. Mm-hmm. But I worked in Lincoln for a year when I was running the track. That was part of the deal down there, was I would come down once or twice a week and work in the store, and then the rest of the time it was my job to work on the Lincoln track. And one of the things that always got me, and why I was kind of fed up with driving all the way down to Lincoln and working all day and then coming around and driving all back, you know, for minimum wage, like $6.50 an hour, which I'm not complaining about that, because I was just there to basically kill time. Didn't have a kid or anything like that at the time. But is people would argue with you. Like, they would come in and ask you a question and then argue with you about the answer you give.
Right.
And that sucks. Like, that's one of my pet peeves is if I'm trying to problem solve something for you, if you come in and ask me a question, hey, I got this speed controller, I can't figure out what's wrong with it, and I go, okay, well, it could be a couple things, let's figure it out. One of them could be plugged in backwards. Oh, it's not plugged in backwards. And I'm like, okay. And several times I've opened up that thing, and sure enough, it's been plugged in backwards.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and like I've said to guys when I worked at the store, I mean, at least once, they say, well, it sounds like you know more than I do.
Right. I've done that.
I've like, as terrible as that is, like, you get these guys that know everything about RC because they're an ASC certified mechanic, allegedly.
I've done that. I haven't done that in a long time, but I remember doing. Yeah. There was this kid, and he had a leather jacket. I'd never seen him before, and all I remember was that he had a leather jacket on, like a legit Fonzie like leather jacket. And he was asking me about something back in. I think it was about servos, because I think it's where we used to keep our servos or something like that. And he was asking me a question about it, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's this. And then he was just like, nope, you're wrong. This is this. And after like the 4th time, I'm like, well, you clearly know more than I do, so I'm going to go over here. Just like walked away. Yeah. Like, okay.
Right. I mean, it's seriously like if you've never seen Clerks, you should watch that movie.
Yes, Clerks is a very important.
It's seriously like, yeah, like
Clerks
if you
is
work
a very
retail,
important movie
like
to watch.
At Hobbytown, like for as long as Alex and I have, You should watch Clerks because you will realize that you've had Clerks moments like every day.
Yeah.
At least once a week.
So I guess my point is that there's easily 100,000 SKUs in our store, maybe more. So
Yeah,
it's very
easy.
it can be very easy to have a mix up on our side or have a mix up on their side. And you know, we're there to get people what they want and to get people to problem solve and to get people going again. And I think we do a really good job of that. But you know, when you read some stuff and you're just like, this is not at all what we're about, you know, it can kind of grow on you and irritate you a little bit.
Right.
So, and things have been so positive and so good for a while now that I just don't want to see that turn around in any way. So,
Right.
that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Sure.
I'm legit about the whole 3-month thing, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ain't gonna happen ever. I mean, nobody's gonna listen to this guy. I mean, just, you know, some doofus with a pivot lending hat on.
I could see military service being a required thing.
Yeah, even that I think would change a lot of people's minds and viewpoints and stuff. But I think I think in this country, there's such a vast population, and there's a lot of different feelings on the military that I think that would be very difficult to accomplish.
Yeah, probably.
I think if you look at the populations in
I think
Finland and Israel and stuff.
I think any time that you can get people that don't know each other involved with one another and talking to each other and working together, it could be a positive.
That's true.
But
yeah.
honestly, that's what I see coming from that.
Yep.
But anyway.
Yeah, totally. Anyways, okay, this is probably a good spot to take a moment and listen to David Olson, Don Zoller talk about their pivot lending stuff, and then we'll get into race results real quick, and that should be good to go, don't you think? There's not really anything new out there, is there? Was there something new?
Nah.
I didn't see anything new this
these new Reedy
week.
weights. I got these new Reedy battery weights.
Oh, yeah, I read about those. Ooh,
Yeah,
let's see what we got on.
let's open the bag.
All right, here we go. We're going to take a moment here to listen to pivotlending.com. There we go. I also forgot to intro Pivot Lending as our title sponsor again. Sometimes I remember, and then sometimes I'm stupid and I want to get into stuff. I'm so hyped up about stuff that that I want to get into it right away.
It was the satellite hookup.
Yeah, it was satellite hookup
get it
that screwed it up.
We'll get it in editing.
But I am, look at me, I'm proud of myself. I remembered today to grab the pivotlending.com hat. It's actually pretty comfortable, dude. Like, I'm a curved bill, old school hat person. I don't normally wear hats. I used to wear hats a lot when I was a kid, and I don't like wearing hats very much anymore. Especially, like, you'll never see me with a hat on at the track because it gets so hot that I would never. It would bother me. It would actually irritate me.
Right. I'm a flat bill, snapback guy.
The last time I wore a flat bill hat, I was there's a picture floating around of me. I think it was at Hadar, Nebraska. I think Jerry Doherty took the picture, and I think Emerson was like 2 or 3 years old, something like that. And I thought I was being clever. It was might have been a TLR hat, I think, or something like that. Anyways, it was flat bill, and I had it turned slightly to the side for some reason all day.
But I saw a guy it was at a racetrack. He knocked his kid's hat off. He had his hat on backwards, and he knocked it off onto the ground. And he said, "Wear your hat in the direction of your life, or you're not gonna, or don't wear it." Those weren't the.
See, I like wearing my hat backwards. I used to wear my hat backwards all the time.
Yeah, those weren't the exact words, but this is a family show.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I used to wear my hat backwards all the time when I did wear hats. So I like the closed back part of it just for wearing them backwards, but I don't really wear them backwards that often anymore anyways. I'm 41 years old. You shouldn't wear a hat backwards. There should be like an age limit to where you can do that and get away with it.
Yeah.
There's a who made that? There's a comedy bit out there that has something where like there should be an age limit for the amount of bracelets that you can wear as a man, and it was because Johnny Depp wears like 5 bracelets.
Oh, he's more bracelets than arms.
Yeah,
the guy has a lot of arm accessories.
Yeah, I used to wear a necklace. Back, I used to do it right at the last. I think my senior year in high school, I used to wear this little thing around my neck for some reason.
Yeah,
not really sure why I did that.
Yeah, I've never worn a necklace. One thing you'll never catch me dead. Or wait, you'd never catch me dead wearing a white hat.
Yeah, they get filthy.
I wouldn't be caught dead wearing a white hat.
No,
that's what I meant to say.
Not at all. What are you drinking?
Yeah, I'd know. Just water.
Oh, just water today?
Water in an empty Gatorade bottle.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I've been saving this.
Wait a minute. I can go get.
I've been saving it.
Drink. I want something to drink. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. He just leaves. Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, that's why this is a HobbyPlex Show podcast raw. This is the unedited version. What you'll find later will be the edited version this weekend. This is all stuff that can get edited. All right, you're back.
All right. I'm gonna have I haven't had one of these in a while. I'm gonna have a Blue Moon.
Oh, I was gonna say, you're having a beer?
Yeah, I'll have a beer. Yeah, God, this week. So Blue Moon, if you're listening, give me some free beer or some money. Please pay us.
We are thinking about, well, not thinking about, but eventually we're gonna have a Patreon page set up. I got to think about incentives though. I don't know what we can do for an incentive.
I don't know.
Got an orange?
No, just a can.
Oh, okay.
Can.
All right.
You gotta like burp really loud afterwards. It's funnier that way. No, I don't have any orange. Just a can. I got a can of it. I got cans. My neighbor had like these big screw top, like 24-ounce cans or something like that, and in a Blue Moon, and I've never seen those anywhere before. I don't know where he got them.
Weird. You want to get in some race results? I know you weren't there, but I'm sure. Did you look them over at all when you were out to see where we all finished?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I've been working on the Zuma, and we had family in town on Sunday, and
Derek didn't come either. So if that makes
he didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel a lot better.
See, I was all excited because I was like, Derek and Will aren't here. That means that's at least 2 spots for me. And it didn't turn out that way.
Much for me right now.
It didn't turn out that way.
Yeah. Anytime my stuff's been really good, I've squandered it.
Yeah. Okay, so the night before, I sprayed Stay Wet down again before I watered the track.
Ooh, talk dirty to me.
Yeah. So, and I also worked on the track. So, Friday nighters, I love Friday nighters because those guys just show up and they race, and it's mostly head to head. PlexSpec just runs straight up racing all night. Mm-hmm. But there's such a menagerie. I love saying that word. A menagerie of different cars out there. So there's 10 scale and 8 scale cars. There's truggies and buggies and short course trucks and all that stuff. That Friday night can be kind of hard on the track too. So
is smattering the same word as menagerie?
Smattering, maybe. I don't know.
We'll get the engineer on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I went out there to throw some Stay Wet on it and then just water it. And then I looked at the track. I'm like, oof, this thing needs some work. So I very quickly went inside, grabbed the tamper, and filled in a bunch of holes and tamped them out so that they were smooth. And then I refaced the first part of the option line that we have. So we've got this option line, for those of you that haven't seen it on YouTube or anything like that. You can do a double triple. You can do a double-double, or you can do a triple-double. And I noticed the last 2 weeks of racing that the run up to the jump, the first one, had gotten pretty weird. So our track doesn't have a floor. And because it doesn't have a floor, we're at the mercy of the elements outside still. So over time, the track will shift and move a little bit. And so the lead up to that jump had gotten kind of out of whack, and it was really, really difficult to triple double it. It was sending your car off in a weird direction and all that stuff. So so I filled in all that and smoothed that out, and then I took the tamper to the face of the jump and just went into it again to make the curve right. And then after I got that done, I messed with the first double at the end of the straightaway a little bit to make it a little bit better. And just get the track, not smoother, but at least like doable again, And I think it really helped the racing. So
I bet.
Then I did the stay wet, and then I watered the track, and then I came back the next day. So that stuff. Now we didn't water the track once. Yes, on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's beneficial to the whole program because the grip level's higher, people are having a better time. You have to do less maintenance during the day.
The line is wider.
Yeah, the groove is wider, so you can it's easier for people to drive on, and it doesn't hold up the program 15 minutes or however long it is around to blow off the track in water.
Yep.
So it's kind of like a time savings benefit, and time is money. So actually, you could be saving money by using it to stay wet.
We still have to blow the track off, and we're one of my next projects that I'm gonna try to do is take the two blowers that we can't use right now because the batteries are like totally dead, and I think I'm gonna crack those things open, find the positive negative leads, and just like hook up a couple 2-cells to them to make a 4-cell.
Yeah.
To make them work that way, it'll be cheaper for us, I think, because I went and looked at batteries for those things. They're like $120 for a battery.
Yeah.
Might as well just buy a new blower.
OCRC used to do that.
Yeah. No, they have like Venom packs and all their stuff.
Yeah, you should email like ProTech or like Venom or Reedy or something and see if you can get them to give us batteries for our blowers.
Yeah.
That'd be bad to the bone, man.
Yep. So the track was really good again. That there's starting to be consensus now where you're starting to see people swing back, at least in J Concepts compound, back to gold.
Yeah. No, I noticed that when we raced, or when I raced the last time, it was like the track totally flipped where it was like so hyper grooved that the silver compound.
Well, and here's the thing about that I want everybody to know, and I want to make this very, very clear. I did not intend for anything like that to happen. That's not why I started using Stay Wet again. So it's not for anybody's benefit or anything like that, race-wise. I think the results speak for themselves that it wasn't for me. Okay.
There was somebody that said that how come gold, or why did Alex do that? Like now the track only takes gold and we've been running silver. I said because Alex is gonna be silver compound. Did somebody say something? I was kidding. Like we all started laughing. I said Alex doesn't have any silver tire.
Not to my face, but I did it. I started using it again because I noticed that as the heat got hotter outside and the humidity got weird again, that the track was not taking moisture and it was drying out on the very top layer, but you could still walk on it and it was wet underneath.
Right.
And what that does is it makes the jumps crumble. So it's more work for me. So in that way, I was doing that basically to try to make my life a little bit easier and not have to maintenance the damn track all the time, because you go look at it, the track gets this it's not just one big crack. There's a whole bunch of little tiny cracks, and as soon as you get a car to hit it in the divot right or whatever, it breaks apart, So I don't know. That's the main reason why I tried to use it again. And then last week, the track got so good by the main. I was like, well, crap. Okay, let's stay on it. I'm going to try to stay on it.
Just so everybody knows, Alex has no idea what's going to work and not work.
No, I
obviously, because he usually just copies whatever I'm doing.
That's true.
So, so if something is different on the tire game, Alex don't know what's going to happen.
I have no idea. No clue. Well, anyways, thanks for clearing that up for me.
Yeah, no problem. It's I thought it was funny. Like I said that as a joke. Like maybe somebody didn't realize I was joking because we all laughed about it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The feedback has been mostly positive. There wasn't even any negative feedback. It was just like, well, crap, I brought all these tires. But I think silver compound was still okay. It seemed like golds all of a sudden were back to what we always have had there, I guess.
I honestly don't care what compound we run, as long as the J Concepts tire works and as long as we know what we're going to run. You know, I'm glad that we did it now for club racing to see what it's going to do before a summer series, and you do all the prep work and stuff on a compound of tires, and you're all planned out. And that might be all you order, and you show up to race, and then your tires don't work. That's like the worst. But
I think
how can you predict? You can never predict any of that stuff.
Yeah, I think from the J Concept standpoint, you should always bring silvers and golds if you got them.
Yeah, I always do. I always try to have a set of each, or I mean 2 sets of each.
Yeah.
But.
So we'll get into race results real fast. What do you think? 13.5 four-wheel drive B main had for the day. It had 15 cars. Really good turnout.
Wow.
Yeah. I was your TQ. The B main, last week's B main bumpers, Joe Schnoes and Rod Case, didn't make the bump this time in that class. But if you watch the video, all these guys were right in it till the very end, really. Jake Wilkening had this bright orange car. You can see he was your BQ. He fell back early, and then he came back to get it, and I think he ended up winning it by almost 9 seconds. And then Kevin Lisak showed up with brand new bodies, and he painted his wing. His wing looks enormous, even though it's the same size wing as everybody else. But the way he's got it painted, it looked like a Tamiya Avante with this huge wing on the back of it.
Oh, that's cool.
But it wasn't. It was an actual. He showed it to me. It was an actual wing. He just didn't have He left the wicker in it too, painted.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it looked huge on there.
So is it like a full size new wing with all the everything around it? It's just like a big bathtub.
Yeah, basically.
On the back of his car.
So your bumpers were Jake and Kevin, and then it was Joe, Rod, Ronnie, TJ, and Josiah. TJ debuted his brand new 22X4 that his uncle got for him, and Josiah.
Nice.
Josiah was having electronic issues all day. He finally got a chance to run, and it was weird because we basically his car was running backwards no matter what we did. We narrowed it down to the motor. We switched out his motor. All of a sudden, it worked. So I don't know.
Wow.
We figured it out.
Cool.
And then if you go to the mod 2-wheel drive B main, so Emerson Sturgeon won the B, and James Nelson got second in this one, and Owen Vanderbeek got third, Mitchell Pavel fourth, and Jason Manley came out of nowhere and raced. And dude, I felt like such a dummy because I couldn't remember his last name.
Uh-oh.
And I hate that.
That's like the worst.
Dude, it's the worst. I actually called him by a different last name. And then I figured out that the last name I had given him was the guy who runs the Buyers Club.
Oh, Jason Swanson?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like the worst feeling because Jason's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
You know, like he remembers everybody's name.
I know. The thing is, though, is I'm terrible with names. I'm really good with faces, terrible with names. But if you race every week and I plug you into the computer, I'll remember your name.
Yeah.
I'm not beyond that. I'm not very good at that. I never have been. But I see a face from elementary school. I'll be like, hey, I know you. And my wife will be like, you know everybody. And I'm like, no, I don't know everybody. Omaha's not that big of a town, you know?
Yeah.
Emerson was on slicks all day.
Oh, I believe it. I actually have a set of octagons here I want to try.
Yep, he ran octagon rears and
Did
space bar slick fronts.
Did he really run octagons in the rear?
Yep.
Huh. Maybe I'm onto something here.
It was his choice. You know what I liked about it? What I liked about Saturday was we had talked about it. He's like, don't we still have a set of slicks? Because last week, I think it was last Saturday after racing, he ran his front slicks, and he's like, Dad, these work really good. And I'm like, really? Okay. Well, we have slicks at home. You can try them. And so that morning he tried them, and he's like, I'm totally going to race on slicks today. And I'm like, Are you sure? I'm like, because I made a new set of ellipse dirt web combo for him anyways, and had him go break him in. But he stuck to it, man. He stuck to it. First qualifier, I was marshaling for him. His first lap looked amazing, and he was in the lead. And then he just he wrecked a lot because he couldn't keep it in the line. The one thing that I noticed about him running slicks was as soon as he got out of the groove at all, he lost tons of time, and his car was hard to drive.
Yeah. And
I kept telling him, I'm like, dude, you're blowing every single corner. If you could stay tight and actually be in line, I think your tires are money. So, yeah. But he ran octagon rears, gold compound.
Nice.
Expert stock B main. Again, we had. I think I split this 6 and 6 so that we had, a good amount of marshals and all that stuff. And it was Bradley Peterson, who was a BQ, and then Jake Wilkening qualified second. The only difference in positions in this one was Phil Palmer and Kevin Lesack. They both swapped 4th and 5th, but other than that, the lineup was exactly how it started. So Jake got another bump. That was pretty cool. And then, oh crap, I went to the wrong one. Hold on, I gotta click HobbyPlex, and then I gotta make sure I click on the right HobbyPlex since there's multiple HobbyPlexes now, which we won't talk about because what for, Okay, so Plex Spec A main. So officially, Jace McCormick won this one. I put Josiah Roby in the Plex main just because he broke out again in the lower main, and I was like, well, he missed 2 heats and then he broke in the main. I'm like, you can just run one more. So unofficially, Josiah won by a lap, but he already ran expert 4-wheel drive, so I didn't count him.
Yeah.
Brady Papanow came again and finished second this time, and then Josh Ryan finished third, and then Grant Lisenby was driving TJ Williams 22.4 that they're trying to sell. But instead of burning it with fire, they gave it to Grant to drive. And he did okay with it. By the way, Bert, the track dog, made an appearance today, or on Saturday.
He got found?
He got found.
Where was he?
Okay, so that's important. We need to talk about this.
I meant to bring it up last week, and I forgot.
Okay, so was it Tuesday? I think TJ came out to practice a little bit on Tuesday or Saturday. It doesn't matter which day. Anyways, so I'm watering the track, and I look down and I get a ping, and it's Messenger, and it's Andy. And he goes, hey, we found Bert. And I was like, oh my God. Because Bert the track dog is this cute little Boston Terrier that's super nice, but he's a chicken. You know what? He it was just bizarre that he would just run away. It's not this dog's thing. Mentality, yeah. So here's the story, and you tell me if you believe this story or not. The people that turned him in to the Fremont, which is a small town northwest of us, to the Fremont Humane Society, said that Bert the track dog, air quotes, jumped in their car at
they totally stole that
at
dog.
Hobbytown, and they didn't know what to do with it. Now, any regular person who had a dog at an event where there's loads of people there, jump in their car randomly out of nowhere, wouldn't they go, maybe I should go in and find out whose dog this is if they were really concerned about it?
Right.
Yeah. So come on, that didn't happen.
See, when I was telling my wife about that, she was like, oh, what kind of dog was it? And I was like, it's a Boston Terrier. And she was like, oh, that dog probably got stolen. I was like, what? People steal dogs? It's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
if it's a rare dog, I didn't even know that was a thing to steal a dog. Like,
Yeah.
like stealing a family member.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's what she said.
Here's what I'm hoping happened. What I'm hoping happened is whoever did this saw on Lost Dogs of Omaha or whatever it was that not only was Bert the track dog a sweetheart of a dog, but he's also like a therapy dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's Andy's therapy dog, right?
Right.
So they took this dude's like best friend basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I hope they felt just horrible and just were like, well, we need to find somewhere to put this dog where maybe it can get found without having fingers pointed at us or whatever.
I mean, it had tags, right?
No.
No?
No.
It didn't have like a...
Didn't have a
like,
collar.
This is my phone number?
Yeah, and he's not chipped. But the thing is he's a lap dog, dude. Like he hardly ever leaves anybody's side.
Yeah.
When he's running around at the Plex, he's scared out of his wits until somebody like me who he kind of knows me a little bit will go, come here, Bert, and then I'll pick him up and hold him, and he's like shaking and shivering because he's freaked out about everybody.
That's horrible. It's great that they found him, but
he also
they got
pees.
him back.
So
yeah.
Here's the other thing I think might have happened.
I was just gonna say that. Hopefully it was so annoying.
The other thing that happens is he pees. So there's been a couple times where everybody's just surrounded him and he's just been like, blue screen, and he just pees everywhere. So
yeah.
Hopefully either they felt really bad or the dog just pissed everywhere and they were like, we got to get rid of this dog. This is the wrong dog to take. So anyways, Bert the track dog's back. They brought him at the end of the night, and we all said hi to him and petted him, and he seemed a pretty happy dog. So
that's great they got him back, though.
Yeah.
I saw that. Like,
I was devastated.
Have you seen me?
I was devastated.
You know, like, yeah, I was like, no way. And then I think it was Jackson that told me about it.
Yeah.
But
so
anyway,
that made Saturday really awesome.
Yeah,
was knowing that we kind of announced that everybody's pretty happy. Stock truck. So last week it was Wade and Chance that were kind of going back and forth. They were by themselves. This week we actually had 5 stock trucks altogether, or 13.5 truck, I guess. Chance qualified second, but won the race. Wade Gearing got second. Ashley McCormick got third. TJ got fourth, and Darren Schmidt got fifth. Ashley had this one until about the last minute. And what had happened this week that I noticed was Wade set TQ on like the last 45 seconds of the race. So they started off slow, but it seemed like Wade and Chance got faster while everybody else got slower.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what happened in this race. So McCormick got the lead and held it and actually pulled away for a little while. And then all of a sudden, both Wade and Chance reeled him in. And then there was a little bit of contact here and there. And Ashley ended up on the wrong side of the top doubles where our elevation change has it downhill. So if you end up on that, you got to wait. So, so he had to give up a spot there. So in the end, Chance ended up winning by like 3 seconds. So that'll be interesting to see how that's going to work out in 2 weeks when we're back for the summer series. We'll probably have 2 heats the way things are looking.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I might be surprised, but you never know. 13.5 four-wheel drive was a doozy. I got video of this one. I'm going to try to post it later. I ran this one again for club racing. Like I said, I kind of want to run my car for club racing. You won't see me running this class to the summer series, though. But it was fun. I did a lot better this week in qualifying than I did last week, and I TQ'd. David Peevler qualified second. Owen Vanderbeek qualified third. The way it ended up working out was it was me taking the win, but at like lap 3, I was in 5th, I think. So
yeah,
the first lap, my car, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, and I haven't even looked at it yet, but I had to like use my thumb to recenter my servo.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I had it centered, right? Because you know how you drive your car sometimes you're like, oh, and you click it once or twice.
Yeah.
So I thought I had it centered. Well, as soon as we gave the gas and I came up to the doubles, all of a sudden my car wanted to turn right for no reason. And I was like, uh-oh. And so I came into the next one, which is a right turn, and I almost turned into early. So I gave up a spot right away to David. And then if you watch the video, I pulled way out of the race line because I had to very quickly like recenter the servo a little bit with my thumb. So I gave up like 2 more spots right off the bat because my car wasn't tracking straight. I don't know what I did.
What servo is it?
My ProTech 160T. Good servo.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the servo's fault. I think I might look at the saver, or not the saver. Good Lord. I might look at, oh, I did figure out what happened. Actually, now that I think about it, I just look at my sister. I don't know why. No, I was, God, what was I doing the other night? Oh, I was putting my new body on, my 22X4, I was putting my new body on, and I noticed that the steering rack, the one side was loose. The servo had come out of the bottom. That's exactly what happened. Now that that's exactly why. So I rethread locked it and retightened it. Now it should be good for next time. But that's exactly what happened. That's why it was wonky. So anyways, once I got it kind of recentered, then I kind of joined the race again. And the craziest thing happened. Again, I'm going to post this video. It's a really good video to watch because I'm in 5th. There's a huge pile up in front of me after the tabletop. We all go on the straightaway. A couple cars bounce off the inside pipe. I get around them. David comes around. David bounces off a pipe. I get around him. There's a massive pile up behind me. So I went in one lap. I went from 5th to about a straightaway and a half lead because all 9 cars were basically together and they were all just basically playing tag the whole time. And I got away. So I snuck one out. I probably could have been in that mess too if I would have driven any worse. But John Kinzer came from the 5th position to get 2nd. Owen Vanderbeek got a 3rd, so he got a Plex buck to give to his dad. Peevler ended up 4th. Chance ended up 5th. Jake Wilkening from the bump spot moved all the way up to 6th, and he was actually, I think, in 2nd for quite a long time. Again, this was a huge mess of cars back there. Bradley got 7th. Jackson Anderson finished 8th. Corey Tannehill got 9th, and Kevin Lesack got 10th. I heard Jackson, as I was walking off the stand, come up to Corey and go, "Sorry I plowed through you over there."
Yeah.
And Corey was just like, so there was that.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Stock buggy expert, Wade Gehring, TQ'd and won. David Peevler qualified 2nd, finished 2nd. They actually had a pretty good race. They were. I think the gap was wide at one point, like 4 or 5 seconds, but it got shrunk down. It was just running out of time for David. David's got some motor, man. On the back straight, like he can close up on just about anybody back there. But this was the kind of a story of one of the stories of the day was Easton McCormick, who won TQ'd and won independent last week. He TQ'd round 1, then he beat his TQ in round 2, and then he won start to finish in independent. He finished 3rd, qualified 4th, and finished 3rd.
That's cool.
And he was only 3 seconds off of David Peevler. And what's cool about watching him drive is his car doesn't look fast. He's one of those where his car does not look fast at all, but it is. But his car's in the same spot every single lap.
Nice.
Almost the exact same spot all the time. John Kinzer finished 4th. Jake Wilkening, again, another good finish. He qualified 8th, finished 5th. Bradley Peterson finished 7th. Corey Tannehill finished, Bradley finished 6th. Corey Tannehill finished 7th. And Nick Pavel finished 8th. On Friday night, they kept calling Nick Pavel Mitchell Pavel because Nick is running Mitchell's body on his car.
Oh, that's funny. I don't know if I do that, Nick. Might as well just put a bullseye on that thing.
Yeah. Mod Buggy. So Mod Buggy, Tom Rinderneck graduated. I think he had a graduation ceremony. So Rinderneck wasn't here this week. Vanderbeek came, though. I actually TQ'd the first round. My Losi car I thought was working pretty good. It wasn't the fastest. If you compare it to previous weeks, it wasn't like a really fast time or anything, but I was very consistent. I had really very high consistency. The second round, I put down the exact same pace. It was I remember it was a 16 at 6:12. But Vanderbeek got TQ the second round. Then he just sort of drove away from everybody. He had 11-second lead. Aiden Olson qualified second. He also finished qualified ahead of me, and stayed there. If you watch I've watched the video on my phone a few times, and they were just kind of on their own level for this one. Ethan Delaire, who really struggled last week, did not struggle this week. He qualified fourth and finished third. And Mac Vanderbeek came with his kids and raced mod this week. He qualified fifth and finished fourth. James Nelson qualified eighth, finished fifth. Ashley McCormick qualified sixth, and that's where he stayed. Emerson was seventh, and then I pulled off with 3 laps left to go in the 8th spot because I didn't want to do anything stupid to my car.
What position were you in when you pulled off?
I was in 6th. At one point, I was at the start of the race, I was in 3rd, and then I quickly fell to 6th, and then I was all the way back up to 4th, and then I just struggled. I wasn't a happy camper, my car. Alex is running an associated car. His car's always good. Aiden Olson is our local TLR kid. What I'm hoping happens is when we have our big race that we can't announce yet, but I just got word that eventually when it is, we'll have it announced on this show. What I'm hoping is that Aiden is able to kind of expose his talents more on a bigger.
Sure.
He's been to the Reedy race, so so he's already kind of been around, the RC hierarchy, I guess. But it'd be nice to see him get a good finish at one of these larger events, so he can get more known. Because when I talked to Thomas about some TLR stuff a while back, he was asking about certain guys and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, you got Aiden Olson here, and he almost went, who? But he was like, oh yeah, that's right, Aiden. And I'm like, yeah, you'll know who he is here soon. So that's kind of what I'm hoping he's able to do, because he can put one together like he did Saturday. He was up there, qualified actually pretty close to Alex, really. Again, Ethan had a good day. Mac moved up a spot. There was a battle back there between me, Ashley, and James Nelson. It was Ethan, between me, Ethan, Mac, and Ashley McCormick for that 3rd spot for a little while.
Yeah.
And it was fun, but every single time that one of us would bounce off one another or like in my case, just make a stupid mistake, I'm just seeing that yellow car of Alex's creep closer and closer as he's getting ready to lap us. It was like, because everything was so good like 2 weeks ago. And I even spent some time on my car on Tuesday night after crawling, because Tuesdays are our crawler night, working on my car. And I felt that I had my car kind of figured out. And
right.
The first qualifier, I was pretty confident, didn't crash, put down a good time. The second qualifier, I did crash, but I put down the same time. And then in the main, it just went so inconsistent. It was like the car was so unbalanced that it was hard to drive, and I crashed a lot. So
yeah,
Emerson has now started a tally count in his pit of times he's beaten Dad, and so he gets to put down another one because of Saturday, because he did finish in front of me.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Last one, independent buggy. What was nice about this week's independent buggy was these guys were all just regular people, There can be some unsponsored guys that can be legitimately fast enough to win expert that by our rules could still run independent, like Wade. But Wade has kind of decided not to do that. He's just going to run expert. So Jerry Doherty came down from Norfolk and ended up TQing and winning. Phil Palmer finished second. Jana Peevler got a third, and Parker Gehring got a fourth. And what I remember about this race was they were battling back and forth for that third spot for a little while. So a couple of those young kids that raced Plex Spec and Independent in last year's Summer Series, and then in the Syndicate in the Independent Buggy, they're still going at it here on dirt. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Ronnie
Went finished fifth. Darren Schmidt finished sixth. Max Doherty finished seventh, and TJ Williams finished eighth. And that pretty much wraps up the day. So overall, we had 58 entries, 37 drivers, and let's see. We always start at 1:30. I think round one we were done at almost exactly 3 o'clock, and then round two we were done at like 4:50 or something like that, and then I think we were done and out of there before 7. So it was a really good day. Very efficient, very, very good day. So
yeah.
And now we get a week off. Now we get to go blow stuff up for July 4th, and then we'll be back for a summer series. I'm gonna make some changes to the track. The first thing I'm gonna do is put the box scraper on the tractor and try to clean up that straightaway. It's pretty bumpy.
Nice.
It's pretty bumpy back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that downhill. So you know how you come up by the bleachers and then you go down right there. It's really bumpy there, and it has been, but it's just kind of something we've dealt with. Well, I'm going to take the box scraper to that too. And I think with the dirt that I peel up from doing that, from smoothing all those sections out, I think I should have enough dirt to put like a little inside berm at the very bottom of that hill.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Wouldn't that be kind of neat?
Yeah, it would be.
And then a couple more changes, but I'll keep those tight to the vest for now. You have to see the pictures. So,
cool.
I don't know. We kind of bull crap for the first 10 minutes of this one, I think. I can't say the other. I can't say the other word, but whatever. You got anything on your mind before we go?
Ooh, not really. I got to go to work early tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's there was a question on here.
Oh.
Let me see. Here. There was one question real quick. Oh, should I get a notorious /outcast, or a Max?
I'd probably, I don't know. I guess you deal more with that thing, or with that sort of thing, than I do.
So, we have had, so we're pretty big Arma store nowadays. We carry a very large inventory of Traxxas and a very large inventory of Arma. I would say I'm going to take the easy political, what's the one? Anyways, either one would be fine. I personally think that the Traxxas Max in between those two cars is actually a little bit easier to work on if you break it than the Outcast. The Outcast 4S and Creighton 4S versions use the same plastic chassis as the Granite and the Centon, so it has this like weird. It's not weird. It's just a different design where you got to basically pry them apart. And if it's the first time you're ever doing that, it's a huge pain in the butt. You got to like wedge stuff in there and use almost like a screwdriver to kind of like unwedge it to come out. And then there's a little bit more stuff in the way to get to things that break on the 4S versions. The 6S versions are basically just big 8 scales, truggies. So they're not too terrible, but a Max is pretty easy. I got to give Traxxas some props on the designs of their most modern cars, including the X-Max, the Max, the Slash 4x4, the Rustler 4x4. They have a very modular design, and they're very, very easy to work on. So
yeah, I guess just from the outside looking in, I think that you'd probably have. There's more stuff to do with the Traxxas vehicle as far as upgrades go and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, and their upgrade stuff is so streamlined. Like,
Arma's catching up.
You're gonna have a you're gonna have a good experience. You know.
Either way, you're gonna be
Yeah.
happy. The Outcast 6S that I confiscated for a little while to do the house jump. That thing is a blast to drive, dude. I think it's July 4th on Saturday, so we close at 6, so we'll have some time to hang out and do stuff before people really start blowing stuff up. But we're going to take Emerson's new GoPro 8 up to take good video with our drone.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then I want to get my Outcast 6S going, and I want to pull out the jump, and I want to jump some stuff. Because all the neighbors are going to be outside, so it's a perfect time to kind of show off a little bit. So
you should like put fireworks on it.
We should
like figure out how long a fuse you need and how long it takes to get to the ramp and where it's going to jump off and put fireworks on it.
Dude, that's a great idea. What if I get the... No, you could get the... Proline makes this basher body that's super hard. You know what I'm talking about? Those white bash bodies?
Yeah.
I bet you could explode a firework on that and it wouldn't hurt it at all.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
You should put fireworks on it.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You could like hit the house jump. This would make a good YouTube video. You hit the house jump with like a pack of black cats on it.
Yeah.
So it just goes
cool.
pop, pop, pop as you're doing it over. Oh my gosh, that'd be sick.
I was thinking more of like artillery shells.
Oh. Yeah.
Or something like you just like tape a bunch of them to the outside of it and have like a 10-foot long fuse and light it and take off.
I'd be up for that, except that I actually don't own the truck. Technically, the store does.
Yeah.
And so that means that the owner does. So I wouldn't want to like have something go drastically wrong where a artillery shell actually like literally explodes the car.
Right.
If it was my personal car, I'd be all for it. Why not?
Yeah, you should just wrap that thing in black cat.
Yeah.
Like one of those.
Well, I don't think black cats would
rope
hurt it
things.
at all. I think it would just be a cool visual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we better go.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but we're at like an hour and 26 minutes. My sister's getting antsy. So
No, that's fine.
All right. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I really enjoy these talks. We're not going to do a podcast next week. Is that okay? We're going to take Monday off.
Fine. Yeah,
okay.
That's okay.
I'm going to take Monday off. Enjoy the holiday. Because
ask the guy listening if it's okay. Is the guy that's listening to us right now okay with it?
I don't have any of the things up. Anyways. Yeah, sorry.
Bummer.
Yeah, bummer. But anyways, don't forget that this show is brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find me at pivotlending.com. If you mention this show and you're in need of a home loan or refinance, something like that, you mention the show, you can get your choice of either $500 lending credit or 0.125 off of your interest rate, which is a pretty big deal. So,
yeah, I'd go with the interest rate always.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, we appreciate you guys a lot tuning in on the YouTube, and then also getting on our podcast. And thanks to Webrise.com for hooking us up with the podcast. If you guys are interested in the podcast realm, definitely should email Webrise.com and get a show up. Just make your voice heard. So
yeah.
All right, Will. I'll see you later.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you later.
What's your catchphrase?
See you on the flip flop.
There you go. Do it again. Do it again.
See you on the flip flop.
Nice.
All right. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll see you later. I gotta go. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything. I went to ride my mountain bike today, and holy crap, it was hot. So.
Yeah, I was in the shop all day. I was in a brick oven at work all day.
Yeah. So, all right. I'll check you later.
All right. See ya.
Yep.